Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets. I truly appreciate your time. Today we're going to show you something brand new from Alien Gear holsters. I was lucky enough to receive this a couple days before they went live and sold to the public. I want to thank Alien Gear for sending me this product, and I think you're going to like this thing. I really do. It's called the, you can see it right here, it's called the Cloak mod, and what it is, it's a paddle holster. You can see the paddle here. Paddle actually looks like the alien head, the logo. It's pretty cool. It's a paddle holster and a belt slide holster all in one. So there's a lot of people out there that are new to the to gun ownership, and they're not sure what kind of holster works for them. And this thing is an extremely cost-effective option that gives you two holsters in one. So it's really double the value. Check it out. There's a lot of cool innovation in this, and we'll go over to the tabletop and I'll show it to you close up. Okay, so here is the brand new Cloak mod outside the waistband holster from Alien Gear holsters. If you are familiar with their product, if you're familiar with their brand, then you know what they're kind of famous for. They're famous for extreme comfort. They're famous for very affordable prices. And one of the key things, if you're like me and you have several different makes and models of firearms, then you need 475 holsters, because some days you want to wear it inside the waistband, some days you want outside the waistband, some days you want retention holsters, etc. It's a very expensive part of gun ownership, almost more expensive than buying the damn gun itself. But Alien Gear, one of their coolest parts is their shell system. Their shells, regardless of what version of holster that you have, whether it's this new Cloak mod that you purchase, or if it's one of the inside the waistband holsters, whether it's the Cloak Tuck, the 1, 2, or the 3, depending on your preference, whether you want a leather backer or a neoprene backer. And you can see all those products in the videos I've shot, and I'll have cards up here that you can link to them. But these shells are universal. So this here, you can see it's set up for my, my Glock 19, and for all the crazy gun people, it is unloaded. It will not explode, and it will not send missiles out to anybody. So this is safe. We'll put it aside for now. But this Glock 19 shell will work on anything they make. I can take this shell off of this Cloak mod, and I can put it on any of my backers, whether it's the Cloak Tuck 1, 2, or 3, and change the holster to the gun that I want to carry that day. So it's a very convenient option they have. It's very unique as far as I can tell. It's well thought out and helps save people a lot of money. Now, this holster itself, it's their first for them as far as a paddle back holster. They do have a belt slide holster, and this also will convert to a belt slide. So you have two holsters in one. So these go for $47.88 and then a small shipping charge. So basically for under 50 bucks, you have a fantastic option that'll give you two holsters in one. You'll have a paddle back holster, which you can snap on your jeans and over your belt real quick and remove it just as quick. Or you can have a belt slide where you have to lace your belt through the holster itself and get that extra level of retention if that's what you choose. So first off, when you look at this, you got the bolt-around shell, which is it's a little more rigid than Kydex. You have obviously the backer, which is uniquely designed. It's got their logo. That is the paddle itself. That's pretty cool. And there are a couple other layers that make this unique. I've had this for 2 weeks, so I have tested this in both types of carry, the belt slide version and the paddle back version, and you can see here I have it on the 0 degrees, but it is adjustable for 10 degrees fore and aft, so you can cant it however you want. I've tried it in every configuration. I've tried it in both carry options, and I can tell you now, after 2 weeks of carry, this is extremely comfortable. It is extremely usable. Sometimes you have holsters that aren't worth their weight in matchsticks. But this is a great option. It has a couple different layers. You can, if you want to disassemble it, it's pretty easy. Like if you want to switch from paddle back to belt slide, first you're going to remove your four screws here. You're going to take your shell off. On the inside of the holster, there's a rubber retention membrane. That helps to help your firearm stick in there, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's also very smooth on the draw and reholster. It's pretty ingenious. I have never had a holster that had a rubber backer, for lack of a better term or description. But you can see that it's spring tensioned. You can hear it click. You can hear it. Okay, that audible click. What you're hearing that for is behind this membrane there is a steel flex plate. It is similar to, if you're familiar with their other products, the Cloak 3.0. They have a layer of spring steel in there to make the holster more rigid as far as reholstering and retention for the weapon. And this is the same thing. This spring steel core, this flex plate, adds pressure to help keep your firearm locked in your holster. Then you have the next layer here is on the back. It's the rigid nylon backer. And finally you have your paddle attachment or your belt slide attachment. So if you wanted to change up from paddle back to belt slide, you'd have to remove your shell, and then the pieces will come out in layers. Be careful with that spring steel core. It is sharp, can be sharp. It's just, you know, steel. It's not like filed for people to hold on to and rub around. So it can be sharp, can cut yourself, so be careful. So those pieces will come off and you'll be left with this nylon rigid backer and your attachment. And then you just unscrew these two screws here and you can change your backer and however you want it. As you can see here with the belt slide holster, there are 4 attachment points. The other 2 are underneath, and you can change that up no problem. Real quick. It's very easy to do, and they provide you with everything you need. They provide you with the backer, and I'll show you here. They provide you with all the hardware you need. There's the hex head wrench or the Allen wrench and other screws that you need, and also different spacers. So you can change this for your preference as far as retention, and they have everything you need. And they always include this. Alien Gear is awesome with that. Some companies will nickel and dime you if you want to change things out, and they don't do that. It's all included in the price. And as always, on all of their holsters, all of the retention points, you can adjust it. You can crank it down if you want a stiffer retention. You can back them out if you want it to have a little easier draw on your holster, and it's totally adjustable. Also, with Alien Gear, you get what they call the ironclad triple guarantee. And a lot of companies don't do this. Why? Because, you know, they're looking to make the sale, obviously, and they don't want to, you know, have you change your mind. Obviously, it's business. You know, you sell something, you don't want to keep taking it back. But Alien Gear, they offer you a 30-day test drive, so you can wear your holster for a month, and if you don't want it, if you don't think it's, you know, comfortable for you, or if you don't like the way it conceals, you send it back. They'll buy it back from you, no questions asked. That's huge. You get 30 days, so you get a whole month to check it out. You also can do free shell trades. And what does that mean? So say, for whatever reason, I sell or trade my Glock 19 and I no longer have it. Well, then all my Glock 19 holsters are worthless. With Alien Gear, all I have to do is notify them that I sold my gun or trade, whatever. You don't have to tell them what happened to the gun, but you notify them that I don't have that gun anymore, and I still have an Alien Gear holster, and they'll trade out the shell. So you send them your Glock 19 shell, and they'll send you whatever the gun you have, whether it's the 1911 or whatever. But they'll send it to you, and that's free. It's not, they don't charge you for the shell. And you get a forever warranty. If any part of any Alien Gear holster ever breaks for any reason, including any, you know, the clips if it's inside the waistband, or the paddle, for whatever reason, they'll replace it for free, and that's forever. So as long as Alien Gear is in business, you have, you know, free parts if anything breaks. I've been pretty rough on mine, for obvious reasons. As a firearms instructor, I can only recommend things that I know that I would use. And I got a couple. I have a clip that's starting to fatigue, hasn't yet, and it's been 2 years with it. So I can tell you that their stuff, it just plain works. Another thing that I thought was pretty ingenious on this is sometimes you get a holster that just won't work with, say you have a legitimate gun belt, which everybody should have a legitimate gun belt if you're carrying a firearm. And if you don't know what a gun belt is, I have a couple videos, I'll link one here, but it's a thicker, more durable belt, whether it's leather or some type of woven nylon. It's made to withstand the weight of the gun and also not flex upon draw and reholster. Well, Alien Gear includes, if you can see them here, let me bring it a little closer. Right here, there's 2 spacers. You can see them. I'll flare them out for you. I'll get back in view. There's 2 spacers here, okay? You put one on this end, obviously, you put one on this end, and what that does is it gives you a little more room, so if you do carry a full-size, a thicker version of a gun belt, maybe you carry one that's a double layer leather, it's 1/4 inch thick or whatever. This gives you the extra room so that you can make this work for you with a traditional thick gun belt. So good thinking, Alien Gear, thinking ahead of the curve, and those of us who wear those belts appreciate it because we need it. Now, if you look at the paddle itself, if you are like me, I have been wearing a paddle of some sort for approximately 20 to 23 years. When I was first introduced to my first paddle back, I kind of fell in love with it because it would fit no matter what belt I had. And that particular one, and I won't mention any names, but it does have a much larger paddle. It wraps around the hip a little more and it sits a little deeper. And I found in using this that I personally notice there's less contact with my body, which has made it more comfortable to wear. You don't have that blade wrapping around your entire pelvic area, and this has made it more comfortable. As you can see, where you snap this over your belt, you get this pretty decent lip here for retention. Now, the paddle back holster that I've been using forever, it's not that deep, so that's an improvement on what has been out there for years. So this is, I found, to be great retention. Not once have I drawn it and had the paddle holster come with it. Sometimes, depending on how tight you wrench and your retention down on holsters, that can happen with a paddle holster if you're not wearing your belt tight enough, etc. You can draw the whole holster with the gun. And I haven't had that happen. I've tried to induce that, and it hasn't happened yet. So attaboy for their design. It does hold the belt, and it's not super thick, whereas you can't quickly remove it from your pants. So if you say you're going into a gun-free zone and you need to take your gun off and put it in a safe in your vehicle, it's not that difficult to pop it off real quick. So a lot of options here. You get 2 specific style holsters, and you can adjust the cant 3 different ways, whether it's 10 degrees fore and aft or the 0 draw. So you get all kinds of options here for $47.88. You can't really find a holster that'll do that for you at that price. Sure, they have holsters that have options like that, but they're usually $100 or more. One thing I will mention, the paddle back holsters are an option for those who wear sweatpants, I guess. For whatever reason, there's a movement of people wearing sweatpants and still carrying a firearm. I believe if you have a firearms permit, you should carry every single day. But I'm not a fan of wearing sweatpants and carrying a firearm, just because sweatpants are soft, that's why they're comfortable, but the waistband isn't rigid and it will be drawn with it sometimes. So, but you can wear a paddle back if that's the type of carry that you wear. Not recommended, but this will work for you. Okay, so there it is. This is the Cloak mod from Alien Gear Holsters. Check them out. You can check out a link right in my description. I'll also have links to the other styles of holsters, the videos that I mentioned. They'll be floating around in the cards here, and I'll also put them in the description for you. And I hope that you check it out. All I can do is tell you that I've worn it for 2 weeks, I've put it through the test, and for me, as an individual, I'll wear it. I've already started recommending it to people who like the paddle back holsters. It's a good option, and what they guarantee, you really can't beat it. So check it out, the Cloak mod outside the waistband holster from Alien Gear Holsters. This is Jared from Guns and Gadgets. As always, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Take care.